right, so that was the flash forward. Now, before this all started, after having recently done some busybody work for the guild, Dawn, you hear a knocking on your door. You were just catching up on some rest. You were wakened from a fitful dream. And after rousing yourself to investigate, you notice a letter slipped under your door.
Dawn rouses herself. She was just lying down in the sunshine, appreciating all of this good weather for some reason. She stands up, walks over, and tenderly lifts the letter. She pops it open very quickly, partially tearing the paper.
It says, you've been invited to a picnic. Be prepared to travel, be prompt. And it gives you a location and a time. You've got a couple hours until the meeting time. It is signed Sister Silent. You don't recognize the name.
Dawn smiles, chuckling to herself, reading across the line, prepare for a picnic. She appreciates how absolutely pleasant her life is, but kind of freezes up at the phrase, be prepared to travel, and gets increasingly perplexed at Sister Silent. Furrowing her brow, she walks over to her cabinet and dons her armor very quickly, because this is a suspicious picnic.
All right, Quiggly, you are in the guild headquarters.
Dawn waves out her window. Hi, Quiggly!
He says, barely moving, but in a way she can tell he acknowledged her.
Quiggly, you're sitting in the courtyard, using the abundant light and good weather to catch up on a bit of mapping from memory. You had spent some time on the fringes of Dominion, helping to resolve a land dispute with Clover and Dawn. And as you were carefully sketching out the tiny trees and little bits of flora and the occasional fauna, a letter is very rudely dropped onto your lap. And as you look up, you don't see who it's from.
Quiggly looks up and sees like a little fly buzzing around and catches it with the sextant like a pair of chopsticks. Not again. You will not disturb my map making a second time. He throws the fly away without killing it and then puts his stuff down. Opens the letter with a letter opener he has to make sure there's no rips or unseemly paperisms.
It reads similar to Dawn's letter. It says, be prepared to travel, bring your mapping supplies. And again, it is signed by Sister Silent.
Be prepared, be prompt. The double BP. Well, this passes my inspection. He puts it in his pocket.
And Clover, you're not too far off from Quiggly in the community kitchens. You get those cookies from somewhere, after all.
Yeah, I had to make those
and you've been
for the picnic.
Exactly. You've been spending the morning just baking cookies in excess. Students have been filtering in and out. Some of the younger ones you give the bowl so they can eat the extra dough. You get some people who want to help. As you put one batch of cookies into the oven and turn around, there is a letter on the
feeling
countertop.
light as a feather because I'm actually not in my armor for once. I'm going to walk over and open the letter.
Same as Quiggly, same as Dawn. Be prepared to travel, be prompt. Sister Silent. You've been invited to a picnic, bring cookies.
Oh, good.
I like to imagine all of these, like, have the literal exact same print on them as though they were made on, like, a lithograph or something, except bring cookies has been added.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bring cookies is clearly handwritten. Do you all meet up, or do you go separately?
I feel like we incidentally run into each other on the way over.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you all, as you are making your way, bump into each other. Dawn comes bursting out of one of the dorm room doors, armored up, blade ready, and raring to go. Quiggly continues his usual Spartan walk, angled yet fluid-ish. And Clover, as you pass by the kitchens, steps out, smelling of fresh-baked goods. You all proceed through Highstone, one of the most populous cities in Verdant, if not all of the Kingdoms in the Light. This is one of the main guild outposts, so it is hustling and bustling, and it has a feeling of safety, certainty, and just general cheerfulness. You proceed down very colorful streets with cloth dangling from merchant stalls, There is plenty of greenery. There are homes built into ancient ruins that have since been plundered and repurposed into living quarters and public use areas. There are plenty of parks and animals and just generally people living happy lives. The directions you were given lead you past the main guild outpost. You get some friendly waves from classmates and teachers. Eventually, the road begins to thin out, and there are fewer waving hands and fewer people in general. You proceed through a small orchard that the guild maintains just for communal use purposes. Clover, you've pulled a couple apples from here for use in pies. And as you walk along, even the trees begin to thin out, and it becomes grassy, and you approach the edge of the island. You walk up a hill, and as you begin to crest it, there's a single tall tree there, and in its shade, you see a blanket spread out, and a woman sitting on it, staring off the edge of the island at passing clouds and ships that are scuttling
Quiggly whispers
along.
to his friends, where I was kind of under the impression this was like a large picnic. This is gonna be weird. Do you guys know her?
I thought it would be a company function as well. Don't worry, I can walk up and introduce us. Hello?
I think I've made too many cookies for this.
Yeah.
I don't understand the sentence you just said.
It does not compute.
It does not compute.
Don helps heft what's like probably 3 to 4 baskets of cookies. We all pitched in, carrying them all out here.
As you shout hello, the woman turns around. She has very close cut, bright red hair, and she has very tired eyes. And she looks the three of you over and gives a half smile and talks in a very quiet voice, and says, "Oh, you brought the cookies. Good."
Yeah, we did. Probably in excess. Dawn walks over and,
No such thing.
well, you say that, she says, dropping a giant basket of cookies next to her. It dwarfs whatever she brought along.
Quiggly leans over and whispers to Clover, I think we may have been duped in a cookie ruse.
I'm always happy to make cookies.
The woman laughs a bit into the back of her hand, and she picks up a coffee cup and sips silently. And she asks for each of your
Quiggly
invitations.
presents his immediately from his pocket. It is in perfect condition.
Resealed and everything.
Yes, he just keeps like a little bottle of envelope glue in his pocket.
Meanwhile, Clover's actually has a little bit of, it's a little wrinkled up and has some cookie stains on it.
No, Dawn digs around for a moment and pulls it out of her sleeve. It was, she's not equipped for a journey, really. She was equipped maybe for combat.
What?
So she didn't really have much storage space. She pulls it out. It's in a weird kind of tubular shape.
I don't see it.
But yeah, hands it over.
The woman looks over each of the letters, sets them aside, and says, "Would you all like some coffee?" And gestures towards a
Yeah,
carafe.
sure, I'd love some. You guys?
Yeah, I'll have some coffee.
Coffee makes me antsy. Thank you, though.
Of course. I find that your cookies go so well with coffee. And she dips one of your cookies in the coffee and is
Yeah.
silent.
So we know this. We know this lady then.
Yeah, Dawn's eyes go from her
No.
to Clover, like, she just assumes that Clover and Sister Silence have met before and is going to roll with that.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused, but then again, I've given my cookies away to so many people.
We're
Exactly.
in the middle of that faux pas where somebody's like, I know you. And you're like, yes, you.
We are
Yes,
recording currently,
the woman after eating one of your cookies says, "I am, as you presume, I'm Sister Silent. You have not heard of me. I work, as my name might imply, on the quieter things that the guild gets done, things that we don't want much attention
Oh,
drawn
you part
to."
of the Sisterhood by any chance?
Are we going to be murdered?
No.
Oh.
No. On both counts. Though I can understand the confusion. I'm not from the Lucent Temple, though my family spent some time there.
I mean, the knights call each other brother and sister, but it's rare to see it used as a title. Like, introducing yourself that way. She kind of, Dawn scratches the side of her head. Guys, do you think that's a more professional thing? Would it up our prestige if we started referring to each other as brother and sister?
I had just assumed that it was her name.
Oh, yeah, that works too. That's a-
No, it is not my given name, merely a taken one. Now that we've finished with the pleasantries, I have a question for each of you. What would you say was the most awe-inspiring thing you've seen? The thing that filled you with wonder and fear, that gave you the sense of how small and fragile you
Well,
are.
sometimes people ask, how big is the world? And I take out the largest map I have that covers my entire right wall, and then I poke a little dot in it and go, that's you.
Sister Silent laughs into the back of her hand again, very quietly.
Quiggly doesn't understand why she finds that funny.
Dawn just kind of blinks twice and points straight ahead at the extending sky.
She nods.
Sorry, where I'm from, I'm not particularly used to the sky, so, yeah, that's gonna be consistently terrifying probably till the end of my days. How about you, Clover?
Never really thought of it.
Clover isn't scared of much.
Good. Sister Silent nods. She says, I've seen a blade cut without being swung, a song take blazing form, a black hand reach up out of the dark beneath and drag an island down.
Well, I
She
didn't
takes a sip
realize
of
it
her
was a
coffee, too.
contest.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Quiggly, your map is still scarier than all of that.
I was going for the existential crisis angle.
Yeah, it's extremely effective.
She takes a sip of her coffee as you all talk. Such things aren't as rare as they should be, thanks to... She turns around and reaches into a picnic basket, pulling out a dagger, old, tarnished, and sets it on the blanket. Things like this. Relics. I assume you all have one? You are not, after all.
Oh, funny story about that one.
Yes, I know that you're a bit of an exception, Dawn. Things like this can come in so many different shapes and sizes. They can be books, clocks, shoes, blades, or shields.
Don's like somewhat serious face cracks for a split second into an all-out laugh when she hears shoes, and then breaks back to complete normal stoic the next second.
Sister Silent pays no attention to that, and instead continues. And each one is different than the last, in power and in use. They can alter reality around them. They can bestow power or steal it from others. My job is to hunt down those powerful relics, then pass them on to the guild for safekeeping. There's a vault somewhere, or rather was a vault. Upcountry Complex is what it was called, and it was recently stolen. The whole
All right,
vault.
now when you say, I need to understand this. When you say the whole vault was stolen, do you mean someone came into the vault, took everything, and left it empty, or like took a giant crane and ripped the vault from its building and took it?
Anything is possible with relics.
I know, which is why I need the clarification.
Precisely. I'm glad you catch on quickly, Clover. Now, Quiggly, you're not too far off. Somebody, we believe an Earth user, cracked the island apart and stole the part of the island that the
How
vault
far
was on.
inland was the vault?
Very
Okay.
inland. It was... The Upcountry Complex is about as inland as you can get in the Kingdoms of the Light. And furthermore, potential should be weak there. It's curious, because they popped it out like a cork and just let it drop through the island until they caught it and made off
So
with
is this an organized enemy that has all of our relics?
We don't know. We do know that they, whoever they are, have suddenly come into possession of the most dangerous relics, and in no short
That's
supply.
pretty terrifying, but Quiggly is, like, weirdly more concerned that somewhere, some island he doesn't know about now has a hole in it.
And it's your job to get all these relics back?
Originally, no, but now it is yes. Originally, my job was to pass them on to the guild for safekeeping. The problem with these artifacts is that they can be found just about anywhere. So I was to hunt them down, give them to the guild, they'd put them in a vault, the vault was stolen, now I need to find all the artifacts that I've already found
I
before.
was about to say, they just undid all your years of hard work.
Yes, exactly. I'm quite mad about it, actually. She takes a sip of coffee.
I couldn't tell. You look
sympathize.
lovely.
Oh, thank
To
you,
fill in the
sweetie.
gaps, I'm going to assume you called us here because we're the most capable investigators in all the guild, right?
She looks away from you for a moment.
I
Yes.
don't like that look. Why did she do that look?
Why did she hesitate?
Why did
It's
she
because she's
hesitate?
lying to you, hun.
Both Quiggly and Dawn snap back to sister silence. Brows furrowed.
They have the exact same expression.
Well, it isn't that I'm lying to you. You're just the only ones that I could get for the job. I spent a great deal of time investigating a number of prospects. Many were unavailable. I wanted a crew who had a unique set of relics. She gestures to Dawn and then Clover, and I needed someone who could make maps, and she gestures to Quiggly. What I needed was a very specific set of skills, and you three were the best amongst all the students that fulfilled my criteria.
First off, we're not students anymore, but more importantly, this is exciting. Thank you for the job. Or, this is a guild job, right?
You're never too old
This
to learn.
is a guild job. And of course, I apologize. You are fully fledged knights now. I just can't help but think of all of you youngsters
We've
as
been knights
students.
for like, what, 5 years? We're plenty accomplished, and we're plenty good at investigating, actually. Honestly, this is a chance for us to prove ourselves and our worth to the knight community at large. We've been stuck on some, honestly, low-tier jobs recently. Dawn kinda shrinks.
Yes, which is another reason why I've called you here. You were, not indisposed. Like some of the other knights. But enough of that. I brought you here today specifically because there's been a lead cropping up. One of the artifacts that I'm familiar with has made an appearance. It's a piece of music. The title is an ancient language, and as far as we can translate it, it's called the Stormsound Sonata, Light and Fire. It is a piece of music ripe with potential, and should require a choir to use well enough. But we've had troubling reports of storms suddenly rolling into cities where there shouldn't have
Yeah,
been a
sharp
storm.
intake of breath, Dawn just, like... Dawn gets more and more interested as she hears about this artifact. This phenomenally strong artifact.
If it's just one artifact popping up in one place so far, I'm worried that whoever took them might be reselling them like a black market artifact dealsman.
Exactly. That is one of our greatest concerns, to have these dangerous artifacts just passed out to the populace. It would cause unrest like we've never seen before. Imagine if any one farmer could grab a blade and cut an island in half purely by accident.
Conversely, it's actually pretty good that they're only showing up one at a time because it gives us a chance to actually, you know, stop them. Also, why a farmer, particularly? Anyway, no. This gives us a chance to stop them before the devastation spreads. If the vault was popped open, it's presumed that they have all the artifacts, right?
Presumably, each artifact was kept in a separate vault within the vault. So it's likely that these artifacts are cropping up as they break the vaults within the
Are
vault.
you saying that somebody stole an island and they're slowly cracking open the various treasure chests contained within? That's so
Yes,
exciting!
exactly.
Okay. Wow, okay. Sorry, we were focused on the current singular artifact that's out there right now.
Right. I'm sending you three, I'm contracting you three by the guild to track down the artifacts as they appear so that I can focus on trying to track down the main
Quigley
island.
raises his hand.
Yes,
Earlier
Quigley.
you asked what the most terrifying thing I had ever experienced was, and now I'd like to change my answer to the prospects of random people being able to cut islands in half, because that's much, much worse. In case you were
She nods and gives you a smile.
in case you were keeping a record.
Full marks, Quigley, as usual.
Excellent.
We'd love to help you. Trust me, we would love to help you. And if you want help specifically finding that island that got stolen, like, pick us, please, pick us. But we don't have a ship or a crew. We've been on ships before, we've helped out with ships before, we've understudied, interned, but we've never had one of our own.
She's just
We've
smiling
generated
the whole time
good
you're
ship
talking.
word of mouth.
Yeah, she was just smiling the whole time you're talking, and she says, "Oh, no need to worry, because I've prepared a couple ships
Sharp
for you to
intake of
select."
breath again. Quiggly, all those years of working for ship exposure paid off.
This is so exciting.
This is extremely exciting.
The way you said that, I just pictured Clover like literally sitting 20 feet away, crisscross applesauce, watching a butterfly go by.
Drinking a cup of
No, that's exactly what that is.
She's just drinking a cup of coffee, occasionally eating a bite of cookie.
Sister Silent gestures to the cookies and a couple sandwiches that she's laid out and says, "Once you've had your fill here, I want you to go down to the harbor. Speak to a man named Adolphos, and he will provide you with a ship. Now, as far as hunting down this piece of music, you're going to be meeting with a contact. Her name is Lavender, and she was supposed to join us here, but I suppose she's too busy to come and see me."
She wasn't prompt.
Sister
she wasn't
Silent.
prepared.
Sister Silent says, "Yes, she's never prepared." And she rolls her eyes. "She's on Bright, and if you need to find her, just look for the taverns and seediest gambling houses that you can find."
Okay, that's extremely... Yeah, no, I'm still excited. Dawn stops herself for a second. Okay, we'll go to Bright and find... It's an entire country. Like...
She'll likely be near the Guild Outpost.
Okay, Guild Outpost near Bright. Thank you. Very helpful information.
Of course. And just so you might recognize her by sight, she's very, very short. Blonde hair, fair-skinned, wears a lot of cloth, missing an arm, generally smiling wryly, like she's in on some joke that you
Missing
aren't.
an arm?
Yes. A bit of business in her past. Nothing to
Hold
worry
on.
about.
I'm gonna get to eating.
Oh, which arm?
It would be her left arm.
Okay, just making sure. It would be very I mean, we've all been there when you walk up to an armless person and go, "Hey, are you my armless person I'm looking for?" And they're like, "No, you idiot, it's the other arm." And it's just a mess.
It's a really awkward situation, Dawn says.
It's happened to me 3 times this year, and quite frankly, I'm not going for the 4th.
Yes, well, she'll be easy to spot. Chances are she'll spot you first. She has a knack for
Creepy. All right.
Yeah, I pop down on the blanket in motion next to me. Clover, I assume, has already been sitting here. Or is Clover, like, under the tree?
Clover's kind of a little bit out of the way, just far enough that she can hear, and drinking coffee, eating cookies, and watching the butterflies go by.
Nice.
It's a little bit. The entire thing is a little bit too complex for her.
Someone, while 2 of us worry about the world we might lose, someone has to appreciate the world we might lose.
That's
good.
great.
Also, yeah, I think we sit down and start eating, and, like, conversation is pretty light. Look over at Sister Silence. Okay, I'm really excited for this job. Thank you so much for selecting our crew in particular. We don't also have a crew. The ship will come with the crew?
Yes, the ship will be coming
Okay,
with the
so
crew.
we've got to get to know... Looks like we got a bunch of people joining our investigation team, guys.
1, 2, 3, not captain.
Not.
Quickly shoos the butterfly off of your nose.
Wait, what? Hold on. Okay, yeah, sure.
I think you just became captain. But you need not worry. There will be
I'm not
someone
worried,
on
I'm
hand
excited.
that is
Yeah.
excited.
Oh, this is the problem when you lead with all the exciting talk and then you expect us to sit down and eat a sandwich. I'm having trouble just stopping my leg from jittering. Dawn is holding her leg in place, trying to force feed herself, like sweating profusely. We're gonna get a ship. We're gonna get a crew. I'm the captain. I'm the captain.
Clover pats her back so that she doesn't choke.
Yes.
You will be the captain. There is the captain for the ship, but your orders will supersede
See,
hers.
out of all three of us, you're definitely the best choice for captain, because I can't be the captain because I hate people. And
And I
obviously,
can't be the captain because I love people.
you're the perfect mix. You like people. You're better with people. Clover's like the first mate you go to when it's like, oh, the captain didn't let me eat the mast or whatever. It's like, that's fine. We can just pretend. You know,
Whatever the
captain
kids are doing
things.
these days.
Sister Silent just looks between the three of you as you do this
Dawn,
bit.
Dawn's just like nodding along, like getting patted on the back, like being consoled by Quiggly. Eating the mask comes up, expression suddenly like furrows, goes back to nodding along.
Quiggly, all while saying those ridiculous things, has been cutting his cookie into perfect quadrants and then eating them with a fork. You two are totally used to this.
Yeah.
Sister Silent, probably not.
Yeah, it gives her pause when she sees it. There are a couple times where she was just chatting, and she stopped mid-sentence as she sees you do
Clover
this.
actually apologizes that her square cookie tray was dirty.
It's all right. I appreciate a challenge. Finding the radius is much more difficult.
The picnic passes peacefully. Sister Silent seems a very amiable person. She shares some of her own history. She has worked for the guild for a long time and has quite some interesting adventures. Eventually, you finish your meal, and you, I assume, Dawn, bolt to the dock.
No. Dawn is like, she's not an energetic. She's not that energetic. She'd definitely walk with the group extremely excited, like smiling all the while. Like, few paces ahead. She's not gonna leave her friends behind.
Quigley definitely stops at one
nice.
point to get his customary before leaving port round of lemonade for everyone, and then he has a beat and thinks about something, but then walks on.